This is Danny with QuadLugs, but we're doing the electronics now. So you can see that, you know, I went ahead and used the marks a lot and made it black. And I left this out because this is where the Velcro is going to go. And I have the Magic 12 amp ESCs in. And, you know, I got these over from Buddy RC, and also the SunnySky motors, and they're X2204S, and they're 2300 KV. And I'll have a link at the bottom. But anyway, I got the motors and the Magic ESCs there at Buddy's, and the props, and the GemFan props for it, the 5.3 props. And I mean, so far these guys are really good. I mean, service is great. So anyway, the other thing I've done, you know, I went ahead and mounted the ESCs, and I used the dot. They're about 3/4 inch round Velcro dots, and I used them to put them on. And I went ahead and did a power distribution, or set up the power distribution. I haven't put the battery plug on yet. I always do that at the end after it's all done. I see about how long I want it and then put it on then. But all I did was, you know, bring the reds to red and the black to black. And I pull it, you know, after I set this, I put these in place, I'll go ahead and bring these out, clip them all the same length, and do the same thing here and solder this one. Another thing that I do is okay, I was just double checking where the front's going to be. This is going to be the front, either place. That's where I chose. And I'm bringing everything out the right side here. Another thing I do on these ESCs, and it's great that they have them, the control leads are really long, and so I cut off quite a bit of it and put new ends on them, and because I won't put it right here, my control board in this area right here, so you know, I want it to be sharp, and you know, just want it to be neat. The wires for the ESCs, I run them through these holes here on the body lugs, and makes for a real neat job. And then I'm starting to put on the motors now, so we'll get to it. Okay, we're putting on the motors. I'm going to go ahead and connect these motors up, and we're going to check rotation, you know, in a few. I mean, a lot of guys are, you know, soldering these in direct. I like to do this, and I mean, anything, you know, everything's good, so every way is the right way. So, but I like doing this because it makes it real easy to change, you know, a motor or an ESC. Now the SunnySky motors don't quite match up with our whole configuration. I mean, they're so close, but all you have to do is lift up the motor a little bit, and then whenever you put your tie, you know, it'll pull it in line. Now if you're putting screws in, you'll have to you know, put one screw in and the others are really close, and then you can drill the others out, and what it winds up doing is elongating the holes a little bit. So it all fits. You'll just have to you know, massage it a little bit if you're putting screws in. If you're putting ties in, just lift up the motor a little bit, and no problem, it fits well. And it's the same thing if you're, you know, going to go ahead and put 4 ties on. It's the same thing. Start your ties in the motor. You know, have the motor up a little bit, and then, you know, pull it down, and they'll all fit fine. Let me go ahead and hook this up. So we'll get the motors finished up here. There's a little bit of soldering, but you know, it works out pretty good. Now that or it's not hard to do. The wire lengths on the ESC, this, I didn't cut them. This is how this is using the wire lengths that came with them. And you know, they're working out really well. I like these ESCs, these Magic ESCs. This is like the third one I've used where I've built with these, and they work really, really well. And you know, no problems at all so far. So I put a couple of screws in this part. You know, this is the bottom plate, this is the top. And I put a couple of screws, you know, just to hold it while I was doing everything. Now I drilled some holes in this plate right after I finished the last video in part 1. But all I did was take a look at, you know, I cleared these mounts here, or these body mounts, body lugs, and you know, I ran it back maybe a quarter inch or so and drilled a hole, and about, you know, even with the center of the mount. Actually, it's a little bit toward the inside, but you can do you know, however you want. And you know, I did that on either side, and it works out real good. So just keep it about a quarter inch or 3/8 of an inch from this mount here, you know, from the edge of the body lug. And that'll put the holes, you know, in a pretty good spot for you. So works out pretty good. So that pretty much covers the ESCs, drilling the holes, 4 holes to run the wires through. The wires are running through the body lugs here to go to the motors. The distribution, power distribution that I did, and pretty much takes care of that. I didn't go, you know, to show all the soldering and everything, but you know, that's kind of boring anyway. But real simple. If you need some help with it, let me know, and you know, I can do a separate video or something on that. And I'm just going to bundle them up right here, and we're going to come out the side. Okay. Everything done there. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the board ready, and I'm going to be using a mini KK2 board, and I'm going to go ahead and prep it in this holder, and get our lemon receiver put on there, and I'll be back and we'll get that mounted. We'll go ahead and hook up these wires, and then we'll get our Velcro on, and we'll determine, you know, where we want this at. and or how long we want this. And then we'll be getting really close to checking rotation and flying. Anyway, let me get this done and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we're back with the KK board ready on the holder lug here. And what we've done, this is the mini KK. So far, they're working pretty good. This is like my third or fourth one now, and to be using. And I have the lemon receiver on it, 6-channel receiver. Anyway, this is it, ready to go. And what I've done, I've put some hook Velcro at the bottom, and I'm ready to put it on. I went ahead and flashed it with 1.11 S2, and it's ready to go. And of course, I set it up for a quad. But so far, I really like them, really good. What I've also done is put some loop Velcro at the bottom here, and I put some loop Velcro here at the top, so if Mike wants to put his transmitter here, video transmitter, he can, and not the cloverleaf antenna can come out the back. So it's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring this. And I just, again, did this to coordinate or keep the two plates when I had them off oriented the right way, because, or the same way, because of the screw holes. So we're ready to put our Velcro down, and you see here you have quite a bit left over of the hook, so you'll be able to use it to fasten anything down, your battery or whatever you want to fasten down. Put this on, and this is 2 inch and this is 2 1/4, so it works out real good. You have about 1/8 on either side, and I try to get it even. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and I'll have to trim this off a little bit here. Now the screws are covered up, but if you ever need to get to it, it's easy. Just peel it back, no problem. And I'm just kind of pushing this down a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and put this on motor number 1, if I can make out which one it is here. That looks like number 1 there. Yep. And we're going to put it on number 2. This is number 2. I could have marked them, but it's pretty easy to do it this way. Number 3. Double check, make sure this is number 4. And that's number 4. Okay. Check out our video on, mounting the KK into the holder, and you'll see that we have some cushion in there also. So you could hard mount this the way we you know, put this thing together. So let me get this put back in. And what I'm doing right now is evening it up this way too. So we can get that in. Okay, I'm happy with that. We'll straighten it out this way. Good. And you can see it makes a pretty neat job in here. You know, it's tight, but it's not too tight by no means. And put a tie band or two on this, make this look kind of nice here. And then we want to make sure that we're clearing the prop okay. In fact, let me get one here and we'll see. And I'm using 5x3 props. And these are the GemFan. So let's take a quick. Yeah, we're looking good. That's going to be real good. I think I'll probably only need one to, sorry about that. Only need one to make that look. Well, we'll go ahead and put them on. Well, that's looking pretty good. Nice, neat job. And we got everything covered. We got all of our wiring done, and everything's on there nice. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Now I'm going to grab a battery and just to see where we want this. And I think, you know, you can put this any way you want, but yeah, I think this way will be the best. And we'll bring it around like that. And I think, actually, I'm going to put it right there. Okay. I'm going to get this soldered up and put a connector on it, and we're going to come back and we'll be ready to check rotation, and this thing's just about finished. Let me get this sorted up. Okay, got this soldered on, and let's see, I already have it bound, so let's go ahead and turn the transmitter on. We're gonna plug it in and hope everything's okay. It's centered up and it's turned correctly, and we're ready for our props, and the battery's going to go here. The Mobius is going to go here, and we're in good shape. And we'll be ready for a maiden. And then I'll be shipping this off to Mike and over at the Mesa RC Foam Fighters in was it New Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, what I do, instead of using wire ties, I use wire ties, all right, but it's these Velcro, and I really like these things because you can reuse them over and over. And the other thing is, like I've said, I guess way too many times, I do so many builds and I use, you know, a lot of the same components. And this just really helps the wear and tear on the wires. You know, if you're doing what I'm doing with, you know, so many of them. And it also helps wear and tear on wires if you are just doing it, you know, one. And this comes in a, you know, longer piece, and I, you know, put it on the first time and cut it. And I really like it. It works really well and easy to get on and off. It holds really, really well. And it doesn't look too bad. Kind of get tired of the look of the wire ties sometimes on all this. And let me go ahead and get this. I'm going to have to grab one more. These again are being used over again, just like a lot of the parts on here. This is how I get them, and they're on a roll. And I don't, you know, I guess you can get them at maybe at Lowe's or whatever. I get them, and you can go online and order from them, and they have, you know, a lot of things that are, you know, pretty reasonable too. You know, like wire ties, and I get them from Uline, and they're on the net, and they're not very expensive at all. These scissors are kind of lost on their last days. You can see how tough that is though. So these are all done up, and looks like we're about ready to put some props on it, and we'll be pretty much done. That's clockwise, and this is going to be clockwise. And these are going to be counter. Let me make sure. Yep. So that's clockwise, counter, clockwise, counter. And I check it again before I take off. You know, I'll turn them up, spool them a little bit, and you know, double check, make sure everything's right. These are run pretty close, and that's the way we like it. Now if you want to, you know, these arms can be made, you know, a little bit wider and have a little bit more clearance there. But this is giving you, you know, really close to a 250. And of course, if you do that, it's going to stretch it out a little bit. But you definitely can. And that's the great thing about building one of these minis this way, is that if you want to beef up your motors a little bit, or if you just want to run, you know, some 6-inch props on this thing, you can. You just change the arms out. Everything else is done. I mean, you know, that's a pretty easy thing to do. And the wiring, if it's long enough, which it should be, you know, you can change your props out. But this right here has been kind of tuned to this one, and it works really good, meaning the wire size, and works really well. And this is going to be right in there okay, no problem with that. And this is how it turns out. This is Danny with QuadLugs. We are ready to go. So we'll do a maiden on this, and then we'll get it shipped out. And I'll have that video on the maiden here really soon. Thanks a lot. Again, this is Danny with QuadLugs. Take care.